What's up, Baron? My name's Seth, and we are back again with some more Trove Geode. We're doing the event video. I'm sorry this video is late today. Normally I have my videos out at 7 a.m. Pacific time every single day. That's when the Trove videos usually start. I ran into a lot of technical difficulties the other day. Windows 10 just kept reminding me over and over that I wanted to update, and then when I did it, it ended up messing up absolutely everything to do with my sound setup. So I took a couple hours to try and figure that out, and then eventually I ended up rolling back to another version. You guys don't care, and that's not, that's not a good excuse. The fact of the matter is, though, that this video is gonna be late. I am gonna have a video talking about why and a lot of the details that have been going on with my personal life a little bit later in the day, if you care to actually check that out. But in the meantime, we're gonna be talking about the what do they call this? The beginning of a new adventure, Rise of the Sunseeker. So this is to prepare us for the Trove Geode update, which is going to be hitting June 26th. This is going to be coming out for PC, Xbox One, and PS4 all simultaneously June 26th, okay? Lots of people are always asking, always wondering if the updates are going to end up hitting the same time on console as they do PC. Yes, they are always going to end up doing that. So the event itself is going to end up taking, I don't know, it's gonna take less than an hour, that's for sure, but there are some parts of it that feel like they just kind of drag out. So anyways, without further ado, give Sunseeker Rowan a flask. So it's got a very long, lengthy lore explanation to what you have to do, and thankfully they've been really good with the quest lines lately, where they'll just have like a big bunch of lore, and then right at the bottom they usually end up just saying exactly what you have to do, or somewhere mixed in, which is a little bit disgusting. But okay, where's this Rowan guy? It says to go to east of the hub, which we're in the hub right here. Where is he? Where's it? What the? He's out in the normal world. Yes, that's right. This apparently is his ship, I guess, or something. I don't know, but all you gotta do is stand in front of this idiot. He actually, would you like to start following the adventure for more magical items? Okay, that's really interesting. Well, we'll deal with that after. You just gotta use a flask in front of him, and then you're going to end up getting a chaos chest as a reward. Up next, you have to give Sunseeker Rowan 5 magical items. So that's what this loot collector is for. I don't know why they're using the recycling bin rather than the normal loot collector. I guess because it's supposed to be funny, or I don't know. But either way, what you do is you just loot collect a bunch of items. You cannot loot collect an item and buy it back. That's actually going to take your point away from the quest line. So you have to actually loot collect 5 different items. So you just hop into a world, or even just give him a bunch of gems from gem boxes and stuff like that, and then you're going to end up getting 10 dragon coins. That's okay, you know, it's not bad for just loot collecting 5 items, but it's not like it's great. And then here's where it starts to slow down a little bit in the quest line. You have to mine 250 shape stones. So you're just gonna want to head on over to a novice world in order to end up doing that. So obviously, on the Trovian Atlas, that's just going to end up being the first portal right here. You're gonna find tons and tons of shape stone in that world, so that's not going to be a problem. It just might take a while because you need 250. You cannot buy this ore from the market. It's not going to count towards the quest. And near as I can tell, none of the none of the parts of this quest are going to end up counting if you end up buying the item from the market. So keep that in mind. And then anyways, you're going to end up getting 3 empowered gem boxes for that. So that's not bad. I've seen a couple people already gain a diamond dragon egg. So GG on that one. But then you have to collect 50 mushroom chunks. So you're gonna stay in the medieval biome to end up finding those bad boys, and they're going to end up being like this. They're just gonna end up being this plant. You can either plant them all yourself, use instant growers to end up just collecting all of them afterwards, or just go around in the biome and stuff. And again, this is not going to end up counting if you end up buying this stuff off the market, so you have to go and get it all yourself. You're going to end up getting a sentient shard from that. So again, not a great reward, but it's not like it's bad or anything. I know there's still some people that are struggling with getting sentient shards, but then you have to mine primordial flame. So you're gonna head on to the hub, and then you're going to end up heading to the Dragonfire Peaks, which is going to be Uber 5, right? And what you're going to be looking for in this biome particularly is the generation where there is an underground. So when you end up, you know, being on the surface, you should see a bunch of cracks in the ground that are going to end up leading to an underground, gigantic, massive cave system that is going to end up having a lot of primordial flame. It's going to be one of the easier ways of actually getting the resource. You can't always get primordial flame from other biomes, of course, but this is going to be where it's the most common. And you're going to end up getting 25 diamond dragonite from that one, so that's pretty good. And then you have to defeat 75 foes in the Cursed Vale. So you have a couple options for this. You can either just go to the normal Cursed Vale world and just start killing every single enemy in the world. If you can, I would recommend that you go to Skylands. Of course, you're gonna need enough jump to be able to navigate that world. But that would end up being my choice, just because the Cursed Skylands will end up generating with more Kill 30 enemy dungeons than the normal Cursed Vale. And since they ended up nerfing it, you can't actually just camp out at a Kill 30 enemy dungeon and kill those enemies over and over and over again. I'm pretty sure it's like the first 30 enemies only count towards the quest, or it only goes up to a certain amount, right? So keep that in mind. And then you're going to end up getting 3 gem booster boxes. Another thing too I want to recommend is that if you're just completing normal dungeons for this, grab all of the items. And also there's another big reason why I would actually recommend going to the Cursed Skyland, because you're going to end up getting the gem boxes, which we'll talk more about why that's going to be relevant in a minute. So anyways, 3 gem booster boxes from that. Then you have to mine 75 infinium ore. That can either be done really quick, or it can end up taking a long time depending on the generation. You can find infinium most commonly in the Fey biome as well as the Desert Frontier. The Fey forest I find is a lot easier to see the ore because you can see it from great distances. But the Desert Frontier is my personal pick because it just seems to be a little bit more plentiful, or at least it was more plentiful in my generation of the world and stuff like that. And out of that, you're going to end up gaining a double experience potion. So once again, a pretty decent reward. More double experience potions, the better. Then you have to trigger Magic Find 8 times. So for anybody that's at the end game, this is going to end up being no problem. Lots of people always ask, how do you actually get more Magic Find? You have to craft dragons, good sir. Dragons are going to be what give you the most Magic Find, if not all the Magic Find in the entire game. So all you gotta really do is just complete dungeons for that, and kill elite mobs, and just things that end up dropping loot are going to end up having a higher chance of actually getting a Magic Find drop rather than just killing normal enemies needlessly. But you're going to end up getting a Sunseeker elixir. Now, we'll talk about what that item actually does and why it is going to end up being relevant later rather than now. But we'll talk about that at the end of the video as I kind of clue you guys in on a couple of the geode updates and stuff like that that's going to be coming around the corner, if you guys haven't already checked out my other videos. But anyways, then you've got to defeat foes in the Fey Forest, once again defeating enemies, and you have to kill 125 of them. So what you can do for this, again, is you can either just go to the normal Fey world, or you can end up going to the Drowned world. Because the Drowned world will also end up generating with, Fey biome and stuff like that. And I would recommend that because usually the dungeon generation is a bit better. Because in the water world, you're only going to have a couple specific options for dungeon generation. And a lot of them tend to have lots of enemies in them and stuff like that, right? So anyways, go and kill all those enemies and you're going to end up gaining our Sunseeker elixir. And then finally, last but not least, this is why I was mentioning that you needed to gather all the loot and gather all the gem boxes and stuff like that, because you're gonna have to come back over to this idiot and you're gonna have to loot collect. What the? Oh, I thought that was a different mount for a man. You're gonna have to loot collect 50 items in front of him. So I was just barely able to scratch that. I ended up going through like a couple dungeons and I ended up getting maybe 35 items, just because I wasn't picking up all the items because I didn't know this was the last part of the quest. But thankfully I ended up going to the water world and the air world and stuff, so I ended up getting a bunch of gem boxes, and that's what ended up covering the rest of the quest, right? So out of that, you're going to end up getting the SS Solidarity and the Solidarity Sail. So you're going to end up getting this boat pretty much, which is pretty cool. because of the fact that like this isn't gonna make that much sense until the Trove Geode update comes out. It's a stupid boat, like, don't get me wrong, it looks absolutely disgusting, the fact that we're standing on this weird little cake, but it's cool that they kind of went the extra mile of changing the cannon to actually look different. And this thing's got some range on it, dude. It might have the most range I've ever seen on a boat. Don't know why, it just kind of does. And the sail is just going to end up reflecting the same image that's on the boat right there. But what this is going to, like, the reason why this boat is going to end up being relevant is because when the Trove Geode update comes out, for some weird reason they keep showing this boat or something similar to it in the loading screen. I'm pretty sure it's just a Bomber Royale arena, so it's not like it's some secret lore item or something that's really, really awesome. It's just, it's kind of weird that they did it, but you know, at the least, the developers have finally started putting some proper shading into their builds. As you can see on the side, it's got the disgusting puke green Trove colors, but at the least, it's not all just one color, right? So that's kind of the important thing. All right, so now for those Sunseeker elixirs, if you have a low enough magic find, you could have been using these bad boys because they're going to end up increasing your magic find by 75 for 1 hour, which is kind of cool that they have something like this, but it's kind of scary at the same time. It makes me wonder if they're going to end up ever adding something like this to the cash shop. Because that would be kind of bad, wouldn't it? Like, I don't know, but either way, when I first saw these things, I didn't even look at them because I thought it was relevant to the Trove Geode update, as I ended up mentioning earlier in the video, which was completely wrong. Sorry about that one. Because there's going to end up being an item that you can use to increase the amount of crystals that you get while you're in caves in the Trove Geode update and stuff like that. So anyways, the Trove Geode update is going to end up hitting June 26th, and that's kind of what this guy is about. He's a Geodian, right? And when the event ends up hitting, or when the update ends up hitting, I guess I should say, we're going to end up having a new portal show up in the hub here. Either it's going to end up showing up right here, or you're going to be able to access it right down here. That's what this cube is that they've been teasing at us for the longest time. We all thought it was going to be U10. Turns out it's going to be the Geode planet, which incidentally is also where U10 is going to be. Now, the U10 update is going to end up hitting sometime later in the fall. I know that this is irrelevant to this event video, so you should go out there and get grinding and never mind the rest of what I'm going to say. But for those of you that are interested, they're going to have the U10 update coming on in the fall, and then they're going to have one last update for the end of the year, and that one I hear is going to end up being pretty cool. So anyways, again, sorry this video is so late today, guys, but I had to rush it out, had to get footage for it and everything, and stupid Windows 10, man. Either way, hopefully you had a good time today watching the video and just have a good time in general. Hopefully this video has been helpful to you, and if it has, I would appreciate if you would like the video and hit that notification bell so that you can keep up to date with all the Trove stuff, as well as just random games that I end up playing on the channel. And then otherwise, if you want to support me, you can actually sponsor the YouTube channel for a monthly subscription fee, pretty much, or in the links in the description you can find my merch store where you can buy this shirt and a bunch of other stuff, as well as a link to Gawkbox, which is the way you can end up donating to me for free through sponsored donations. Doesn't work for everyone in Europe though. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody. Oh, and I almost forgot the last part of this quest, dude, like seriously. So this is pretty interesting that they actually have a repeatable quest, because this means that you can get infinite Sunseeker elixirs so long as you keep accepting quests from this guy while he's around, right? So get magic find to trigger 50 times, and then you're going to end up getting an item that gives you 75 more magic find for an hour. That's really, really good for starting players, dude, like seriously. So stock up if you can, guys, because this is going to end up going away. There's no quest like this in the Trove Geode update near as I can tell, so keep that in mind.